In studio with me, Adam Holland, author Adam Holland. Welcome, Adam.
Hi, Tori. Thanks for having me.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
You're full of smiles.
Thanks.
I think we're all hot. I think we're over it. I think we're over it, but it's going to stay with us for a little bit longer. Adam has written the book Anchored in the Storm. And when I read the paragraph, they give me a little bit of information prior to you coming in. And when I read the paragraph, I was wondering whether this was going to be a very, very serious type interview. And then I got to know you a little bit before we went on air, and I was pleasantly surprised that it's very uplifting. We took a bad situation and made it into good. Why don't you tell the listeners what happened?
So, in short, in 2014, I was diagnosed with brain cancer, a very rare form of brain cancer, and out of, having 2 brain surgeries, 6 weeks of radiation and chemo, came Anchored in the Storm. And what I did was I took quotes and Bible verses, either that I had found, which I find, is just one of my loves in life, are quotes.
I love quotes and I love verses. You and I are like this. Okay.
So I took those in 2015 as I was recovering and kind of rebuilding life. And it started out first for me as a way to just kind of process or begin to process what I had been through. And as I was writing and responding to these verses and quotes, I realized this journey that I was on was not just for me, it was for so many more people. And it was then that I decided to write a book, Anchored in the Storm.
And did you start doing this? We spoke a little bit off air about it maybe being cathartic for you, but helping others as well. Absolutely.
Well, and the reality is that at some point, everybody is going to have some type of suffering, big or small. We all have those days.
We all have journeys. I always say that no one knows. You could see someone, a friend, or you see someone on Facebook and they're posting these beautiful pictures with smiles, but you don't know what's behind that. And we don't know people's journeys, their personal journeys. And it could be very different from what they present.
Very much so. And so, my book is to encourage, to exhort, to uplift those who are suffering, going through bad times. And the reality is each of us is going to have different types of suffering. My book is not just for those who have cancer, but those who are unemployed, those who have relationship difficulties. It runs the whole gamut of the trials that we face in life.
Absolutely. Everyone has their own story. Mm-hmm.
And so, my hope is that I can encourage and uplift and have people draw close to the Lord during whatever journey they're on.
Mm-hmm. So let's say you took what is one of your favorite quotes or verses that you took and expanded?
Oh,
there's so many.
To be honest, the whole book is truly a work of love. Mm-hmm. And each of the verses, each of the quotes was truly something that helped me through my own storm. And I was, at certain points, facing 2 brain surgeries, facing radiation. At some points, when you're sitting in your living room the day before you have brain surgery, the thoughts that run through your mind, am I going to come out of it with a disability? Am I going to come out of it? Mm-hmm. The reality is you could die.
When you woke up from that first surgery and woke up and realized you were waking up, and they said, you're still here. What's the feeling like? What is that feeling?
Well, the first surgery was, it was a very dark place, I think, for myself and my family, because the outlook wasn't very good. Mm-hmm. And we knew that the road ahead would be very, very difficult. But the next few weeks, as I was getting over that and getting used to what type of cancer I might have, the sun did shine again. The Lord was very gracious, and it wasn't what it was. And so the only option I had was to have the second brain surgery and have the brain tumor out, the brain cancer out. Mm-hmm. And it was then, I remember being in the recovery room, still, just completely out of it, but opening my eyes. And it was amazing. And part of it for me, they said I might lose vision in the right part of each eye. And so I remember laying there, nobody was around, but I closed my left eye and I'm like, I can see out of my right eye. It was amazing. And I had some issues that I needed to overcome. But I would say this, the overall experience of having brain cancer, going through everything, was definitely the hardest thing I've ever been through. But I've truly come to look at my cancer as a gift. I would not trade it for the world because of what I've learned. The person that I am now, I'm not the same person that I was before. I don't think anyone can go through a trial like that and be the same person. And, I think many times our trials are an opportunity to not redefine, but refine our lives.
How do you look at things, things we complain about, what books say, or, don't sweat the small stuff, but we still do anyway. You're in traffic and you're, banging on the steering wheel and someone cuts you off. How do you treat those things now? Someone gets aggravated at the mall or something. Like, how do you treat those little things now that you've gone through something like this? Do you put it in perspective, or?
I would say, in terms of those little frustrations, those are still there. Traffic gets to all of us. But I've really learned to appreciate so much of life. And it really is the little things that are so meaningful. Even just waking up in the morning or having conversation with someone. Like, for example, I'm going to visit a family this weekend that the husband had a brain tumor and had brain surgery. So I'm going to visit them and see what I can do to help them. And I think one of the great things that's come for me out of my book is just the idea that my life is so much bigger than me. And if I can give parts of me away, then it's a life well lived. And that's what I want.
That's amazing.
What I want for myself. And I hope that the readers get that from my book, is there's so much out there.
There is so much out there, and we tend to lose sight of that. We absolutely do. And I can't wait to read the book. We talked off air about, I'm actually going to read the book, because I'm not, I'm old school. I'm not, although the book is on Kindle and Kindle Unlimited, you can get it on there. I'm going to go the old-fashioned way through Amazon and get the actual book. If you do go on Amazon and get the book, and like the book, and I have a feeling we're going to love the book. I just have a feeling, because I'm all about quotes, I'm all about verses, I'm all about uplifting, positive messages. I'm all about that. Obviously, put your review on Amazon. It's also available barnesandnoble.com.
Yes.
We have a Facebook page. You can find both Facebook and Instagram, Anchored in the Storm. Just search for it, right?
Search for those two, yeah.
Yeah, Anchored in the Storm, which is the name of the book. And you can connect on Facebook, Instagram. Now, Instagram, you were telling me, which I think I'm going to look you up right after the interview, you actually put some of the quotes and verses on there.
Yeah, so what I've done is I've gone through and, I've read the book several times, and I went through and I highlighted the quotes that I think would be most uplifting, and I made, those little picture quote things that you see all over the internet.
Of course.
And I'm like, I can do that. And so that's on Instagram.
I love that.
Just all those things. And on Facebook are updates, or, like this interview I'll put up on Facebook.
Oh, yes, the interview. You know what?
Yeah.
Hold up your book, because if you do, watch your fingers. Your fingers are, there you go.
There we go.
There we go. Okay. So you can see, when you see this on YouTube, we have our YouTube channel, and the interview will be on there in about a day or so. And you can actually see the cover of the book. I'm going to absolutely follow you on Instagram. Anchored in the Storm is the name of the book. Anchored in the Storm on both Facebook, Instagram. Adam Holland, thank you so much for being here. You were a delight. I can't wait to read all about the quotes and the uplifting. I think it's a wonderful thing if you can, shine some sunshine in somebody who's going through some difficult times. I think it's wonderful. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Tori. It was a privilege.